Pakistan had never lost its love for hospitality. India has over the years in the tough life we have here. But Pakistan remains very hospitable as people. Pakistanis, I should say, not Pakistan. Pakistanis remain very hospitable as people. And they would invite the Indians home. They would call them amanat, which means our responsibility. And they would protect them. And I remember when bombs were going on, there were a couple of Talibanis who would pick me up and throw me inside places where I would be safe. And they'd also say, you're our amanat. We can't hurt you. And that's when I realized people are people. Even if they're misguided people, they're people. They know right from wrong. And especially women. That's when I said, let me get the women together. Women are forced to be reckoned with when they get together. So we got hold, and I said, let me start by my own country before I start by borders. I went to Lucknow, Muzaffarabad, Sultanpur. These are close, almost about 3 hours from here, if you drive. They're beautiful villages which create the most beautiful shadow work, which is called chicken curry. In the north. It's actually in the north-west. And these were villages that were always filled with war. Convenient to the politicians, difficult on the people. Every few years you feel Muslims are being marginalized there. And there was brewing hate every single day. We brought the mothers together. The women who work at home, they're never allowed to get up. Muzaffarabad, Sultanpur, and Raebareli, lots of places around that whole belt. We bought, no, it's on the western, it's a western belt. Lucknow, around that, near Lucknow, near Lucknow. And they have a commonality of chicken curry. So we would give them spreads of fabric and tell them work, and they would talk, and they would share spaces. And by the end, did you manage to find Needlecraft's video? The Needlecraft, no, okay. I would love to, or you can go online and see the Needlecraft. And the Needlecraft is an initiative which provides them economic independence, but most importantly, it actually gives them a way to speak. So once we were interviewing the lady, and it was on camera, and we said, how have you learned? And she says, I've just learned that all the blood is the same. Every son's blood that is spewed is the same color, isn't it? And when we work, we don't know what difference we are. We're the same color. We're the same people. We eat the same things. I may eat non-veg, but we eat in the same way. How are we different? I'm lost. And slowly and steadily, an initiative has gained forth. I was really, and the next thing that brings us is food. So I'm working on a project for food diplomacy in Varanasi and a couple of countries where I'm trying to now bring the men and the women together to give them livelihoods through their own cuisine. This was inspired by my trip to Lebanon. There's so much happening in Lebanon that it's heartwarming for me. Lebanon has a very complex history. So you have the Christian, the Druze, the Arabs, the Muslims, the Armenians. It's a whole... We're all one family normally. Yeah. And when the politicians decide to stir it up, they stir it up really well. So there was this one border town that I was shooting in. It's called Tripoli. Tablis in Tripoli, which is on the corner with Syria. Every time the two families want to get at war, there is bombing and shooting going across that little town. And it's this dividing line. So there's one house here, and there's the other house there. And they actually have shooting going on. So very often, a father might kill a son-in-law. And there's one brilliant man called Kamal Muzawak, who decided that he was going to use food diplomacy. He follows the path of Gandhi. He believes, be the change you want to see. And he actually used food diplomacy to create that awareness. He said, guess what? He brought in the marginalized widows from both sides. He told them, share the table. Cry, fight, do what you want. If you need tawlit, which is a table in Arabic, I will help you get a table and set up your own business. But for that, you're going to have to get together. And that's a big task. When someone has killed your son or this thing, how do you reconcile with that person? It's taken months, but I've seen success. I've seen that hunger and economy and the knowledge that you can save a second son, and women like her, and women like young young Lebanese who have been educated and brought up in New York and are giving it all up to go down back to Lebanon to actually be the bridges and the change makers. And they actually have gone back to lay the bridge and the foundation between people. And now that food diplomacy is creating what you call a table. So these little tables are being given where the women can do their own food. And there's a massive table in the middle of Lebanon and several other places where these women cook on every weekly basis. They take home money and they sell through Souk al-Tayyab, which is the good souk, which is Spinneys is now giving it all across them. So they have a farmer's market called Souk al-Tayyab where they can sell their produce, and a weekly market in very many places where they can actually create their food. And this has been food diplomacy for Lebanon. That is the basis of. We love food. Yeah, and I think food, film, and soft culture can be actually used not just for creating livelihoods, but for creating those bridges that we need. So our motto for celebrating cultures is to celebrate each one's culture, and through participation, bring peace and prosperity. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, speakers, and all the audience for your time on behalf of Women's Economic Forum 2016. Thank you all. Question sessions, very brief. I request you for a brief one.
Two things. First of all, 1.5 years ago, I didn't thought that I would find myself so deeply involved in women wage peace, and I become one of the leaders of this movement. It just came, it gave me so much satisfaction. I felt like I'm doing something very, very important. I want to add that in Israel, we have also a cooking group. Sonia, we have a cooking group that women it's called Vadi Ar, it's a place in Israel. Women cook together, they meet like 10, 20 women together. Each one of them invite the other partner of the group to a house, and at that day, each one bring one dish and they share, and they teach each other to cook a special dish that, you know, it's typical to what they cook in their traditionally. And one more thing that I want to add to what Sonia just said, that for all of you, you know, I get so many friends in the last 1.5 years, Arabic, Palestinian women, and at the end of the day, there is no different. No different. We share, we are all human beings, and it's in our hands, and especially in women's hands. We create life, and it's our responsibility to keep the life and to make a better life in this world.
Thank you all. The next session is on restorative justice and humanizing the justice system. Because next session will start, madam. We started late, I agree, but okay, go ahead, no problem. Anybody has questions? Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, everyone. I just want to say that, okay, thank you. My name is Kate. I'm from London. And it's amazing what culture or what things we can do to bring ourselves together, because looking at the whole world, everybody's born different, everybody's come from a different area, and we are not meant to stay in one place. We're meant to, it's like fishing around, and to fish around means you have to go to another country, you have to meet different people. If you don't do that, then you are kind of a cocoon in your own self. So really, I'm so impressed by the things that have been done, so as to get, two cultures together. What you done was fantastic. You're very young, so you've got a different aspect to follow it. But for us, we've also got a different aspect, common cooking, like she said. Common cooking is amazing thing, because while I'm, like yesterday, the food I ate, when I sent the internet, WhatsApp to my children, I said, food fantastic, yummy, yummy. Because they've already said to me, what do you think? Are you going to like Indian food? I said, I'm not fussy about food, but I want to taste. Because when you want to taste something, you are actually already welcoming that culture into you. But as soon as you said no or I don't, and then you have created a barrier. So really, food is amazing, and obviously dressing up. I said to my friend yesterday, we must go and find sari to dress up, Indian style. I would like to dress that. Take some pictures and show this is where I am, and I want to be like them because I believe that we are one, and being one means that we should be able to, sit and have a conversation, dress up, and value what that other person does. So it's been a wonderful morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else having any questions? Yeah, few minutes. Just make it short.
I'll just make a comment. I loved your... I'm Susan Horn. I am Jewish. I'm originally from Illinois, Chicago, Illinois. I live in Utah, where it is not very multicultural at all. Even amongst the group of my friends, it's, yes, it's not very multicultural there. But I have lived in Israel many, many years ago for high school, after high school for a year program and a couple summers afterwards with Volunteers for Israel. I grew up in Young Judea youth group. And it's just, I'm so inspired and I'm so touched. And I think it's true. Women can definitely change the world. It's up to us. We know how to come from love and show our emotions and our feelings and how to talk to one another. And we're gonna see peace in the world very soon. I'm going. I'm in. I can't wait. Okay, I'll take that on. I'm excited. I've been wanting to go back.
I have to get the Arabs to start. My starting is not valid. I'm going to go and coach some of the Arabs because we have all the UAE league speaking today afternoon. I'd like you to meet them. Because UAE is the most open country to change. So let's speak to them because without getting the Arabs, we're not really. So you tell me where to come to and I will come to the session. Yes, me too. Me too.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, audience, for your support. Now, another session is there on restorative justice and humanizing the justice system, a common sense approach. We know Ms. Patty is here.